Now these components remind us of Daniel chapter 7. It says here, he saw a beast rise out of the sea. He had a name of blasphemy. The beast was like unto a leopard, feet like bear, mouth of a lion. Dragon gave him his power, seat, and great authority. Now let's look at some similarities between this beast and Daniel chapter 7. Both beasts rise out of the sea. The four beasts of Daniel chapter 7, four great beasts came out from the sea. And the one in Revelation chapter 13 saw a beast rise out of the sea. Both beasts have the same components. Now these four beasts, we see lion, leopard, bear, and beast. Over here we see beast, leopard, bear, and lion. So the components are the same. The beast in Revelation chapter 13 blasphemes God. The beast in chapter 7 of Daniel speaks great words against the Most High. So both are blaspheming powers. And then in Daniel chapter 13 we see the beast made war with the saints. And in Daniel chapter 7 we saw it shall wear out the saints of the Most High. Then it says power was given to the beast to continue 40 and 2 months, which is 42 times 30, 1260 prophetic days. And in Daniel 7 they shall be given into his hand at times and dividing of times, 3.5 prophetic years. 3.5 times 360 is 1260 prophetic days. So thus we remember those four beasts in Daniel chapter 7 all are kingdoms that ruled. Remember the lion would be what? Babylon, and then the leopard would be, the bear would be Medo-Persia, and the leopard would be Greece, and then this beast would be Rome. And we saw that in Nebuchadnezzar's dream, the whole statue was of gold, not gold, no, the whole statue represented something. It represented Babylon. Yes, it represented Babylon, because the head was of Babylon and you are identified by your head. So these four beasts are just the empires that the Babylonian religion passed down all the way down into our time. So the beast that we're looking at in Revelation chapter 13 is just the continuation of Daniel chapter 7. As we notice, it has all the components of the beast of Daniel chapter 7. And remember, we saw that out of these four beasts, in the last beast, there came 10 horns on the head of this beast here, and then one horn arose, which we call the little horn, which we identified as what? As the papal power. The papal power. So if this beast now is the continuation of this means that this is the papal power you are now looking at there in Revelation chapter 13. And from looking at that papal power, the Bible is telling us that the papal power is a combination of various things. You have Babylonian idolatry, you have Middle Eastern or Medo-Persian mysticism, you have Greek philosophy, and you have Roman temporal power, all combined in the papal power. Remember, this beast persecuted the saints of God, blasphemed the name of God. All of these things we saw during our 2 weeks was done by the papal power. So let's move on. Don't want to spend any more time on that. Now, John had his vision in the year 90 AD. And what he was seeing here is a prophecy of something that would come to pass more than 400 years afterwards. And here the more sure word of prophecy will now identify to us how the papacy got its power. The Bible says the dragon gave him, the beast, his power, his seat, and great authority. In other words, the papacy receives its power from the dragon, and we'll see how this happened. Now, one of the titles of the papacy is Pontifex Maximus. Pontifex Maximus. And according to the Columbia Encyclopedia, it says Pontifex Maximus was the highest priest of Roman religion. Okay? And then it says, after the supremacy of Christianity, who? The popes assumed the title. So initially, Pontifex Maximus was the title of the Roman high priest. And after the papacy took the Roman Empire to rule it, it says the popes took that same title. And here we have Roman coins. This is a coin of Tiberius Caesar. And if you can see, it says Pontiff Maxim. So you see, that was a title of the Roman emperors and the Roman high priests. And here we have a coin, a gold coin here of Pope Ioannis or Pope John the 23rd. And we see the title Pontifex Maximus. Now this title, as we said, would belong to the high priest of the Roman religion. And the function of the high priest, it says here, his functions were partly what? Sacrificial and ritualistic. In other words, this Roman high priest offered ritual sacrifices, and the Bible tells us that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they do what? They sacrifice to the dragon, right? So the high priest in the Roman religion was a high priest to the dragon. And when the papacy took that title, Pontifex Maximus, in sense, he received his seat and authority from the dragon. The papacy was given the throne of Caesar and became Pontifex Maximus. So therefore, the papacy received his seat and power and authority from the dragon. And then the Bible, as it were in vision, zoomed forward into the year 1798, where John says, I saw one of his heads, as it were, what? Wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And remember, we saw that in 1798, the Oxford Dictionary of Popes says, on 15 February 1798, General Louis Berthier entered Rome, proclaimed the Roman Republic and the deposition of Pope Pius as head of state, and forced him to withdraw to Tuscany. And remember, a beast in prophecy is a kingdom. And for a kingdom to exist, it must have a king and dominion. What General Louis Berthier, who was the general of Napoleon, did, he removed the Pope, so you have the king is removed, and he took away the dominion, so he abolished the papal states, so he removed dominion, so therefore the beast died. Prophetically, the beast ceased to exist because there's no more king, no more dominion. So that's why the prophecy says one of the heads received a deadly wound, right? Now, let's go again. And I saw one of his heads, as it were, wounded to death, and his what? Deadly wound was healed. So now, if a deadly wound is healed, it means you get back life. You come back to life. And for a beast to come back to life, you must have the king restored and the dominion restored. And then you are qualified again for a beast. And we saw that this happened in 1929. It says here, Vatican City has been an independent country since 1929. So we saw the Italian government gave the papacy to have dominion over. As small as it is, it still has a king and dominion. As it says here, it is the smallest independent country in the world. You see that? Vatican City covers only 109 acres, but it exercised spiritual sway over millions of Roman Catholics. Its ruler is the Pope, so that's king, and the dominion is 109 acres. So it qualified then for a beast again, so it came back to life. Deadly wound is healed. So we see how the prophecy is seeing all of these things that happen in the future. Then it says, after the deadly wound was healed, what happened? All the world did what? Wondered after the beast. And we saw in one of our topics how the papacy has now reached to such international influence that it has diplomatic relations with 176 sovereign states, which is approximately about 90% of the world.